Hi there! So I'm back from campaigning. For those who care about it, I managed to get 30% of the vote running against a two-term incumbent Democrat in a mostly registered Democrat town, running as a Green, running to the left of a Democrat. So that's not nothing, but failing or not failing is largely a measure of what you define victory as. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these videos, so I'm a little bit afraid that I'm not going to be any good at it, that my skills in doing this may have atrophied. Despite that fear of failure, I'm still pressing on, still creating these strange little creations and putting them out there for public scrutiny, risking catastrophic failure. Again, failing depends on how you measure your victories. How do I measure victories here? The number of likes, the number of views, the number of times a video is shared, minds change, arguments had, number of lives touched, number of stories told. I'm actually not sure how to define victories here. It's something that I wonder about. Why do I make these videos? Why do you watch them? You can answer that question in the comments section. I do read the comments and I do value your input. Speaking of questions, one question was asked to me that's been nagging me ever since it was asked. I met with a guy who was living in a house that was almost falling down. He was pitching random items out of his yard into a dumpster, and I approached him and, started talking about my platform, part of which included single-payer healthcare, Medicare for all. For some reason, he was incredibly offended that I wanted to make sure that people got medical care. And so he asked me very pointedly, what, you want to make things fair? Why should it be fair? Because it hurts your feelings? Huh? Why should things be fair? Why should things be fair? I mean, I think that things should be fair because life is fundamentally unfair. The top 20% own 85% of all the wealth in the United States. Those who are least able to afford healthcare are often those who are most in need of it, most heavily burdened with medical problems because they're not able to seek medical care early on when long-term diseases left untreated are manageable. Those who are least able to afford medical care labor to create the wealth of that top 20%, and they get a pittance for their labor. So why should things be fair? I guess the real question is, why should things be unfair? Why should it be that you should work your entire life and have nothing to show for it aside from a mountain of debt, while others can simply inherit wealth from their parents or grandparents without working a single day in their lives, and then receive even more wealth by exploiting the labor of others? Why should it be that in the wealthiest nation on this planet, people are homeless and die in the streets? Why should it be that the top 20% of income earners control 85% of all wealth, and the bottom 80% of people who labor to create that wealth have to fight over the remaining scraps of that 15% left for the rest of us? Why should we pit the poor against the almost poor, with middle income earners having to pay nearly a third of their paycheck to pay for the medical care and food assistance for the bottom 15% who cannot, through their own labor, support themselves, while the top 20% who control 85% of the wealth pay nearly nothing in taxes? I suppose another way that we can measure victories is by how much closer we've advanced towards things being fair instead of being unfair.
Killing you!
I'd like to thank the following list of people who were sustaining subscribers and have since left. Thank you very much for your time being a sustaining subscriber. Without you, this show would not be possible. I'd like to thank those who are currently sustaining subscribers. And I'd also like to thank the following list of folks who are one-time donors. Your support is very much appreciated. If you'd like to become a sustaining subscriber, please go over to my blog, punkpatriot.com. And if you'd like to throw, $1, $5 my way, whatever you think this video is worth, you can go ahead and do that either at the link in my video description or again over at my blog at punkpatriot.com.